Detaching backhoe from tractor. Place bucket and stabilizers in a tripod position as shown above, so the unit will stand alone. There's a step pad on both sides of the tractor. Remove the cotter pin and attaching pin as shown on this page, like so. Move the tractor away from the backhoe so it's far enough to disconnect the hydraulic hoses. Seems easy enough. That's not quite right. So, just dragged this home yesterday. Backhoe that goes to the 1010. Then everything was fine and dandy right up until we were lifting it off of the trailer and it was in the proper position, and we had it chained from these 2 points with this very, very lightweight chain, which broke and dropped the thing on its side. But I don't think anything got damaged, or at least nothing got damaged worse than it already was. Oh, and now I need to stand the thing back up. My plan is to lift from here and just kind of pivot it back onto its correct axis of orientation. This has had somehow a much harder life than the crawler. It's just been beat on. There's weld repairs everywhere. There's these things which aren't original. There's bent and twisted metal everywhere on it. But did reportedly operate 7 years ago. So that's a start. There's no hydraulic oil in it. It holds zero pressure whatsoever. It's just flopping around limply. That's about it. It's a Type 51 backhoe. I'm not on its side. I'm not really sure what else there is to say about it. I'm gonna try and get it upright. I did it. It is the proper way up. That was far more of a pain than it should have been. But I'm gonna throw some hydraulic oil in the 1010. See how many of these old lines we can blow up. Hydraulics hooked up. The hoses seriously don't look hideously bad. I'm sure none of them are top-notch, best hoses ever made, but they're all serviceable, at least I think. How we do. One link. That's actually far better than I was expecting, and it's from a fitting, not a line. How do you expect me to get it? How do you expect me to get a fitting in there? The Type 51 backhoe goes with John Deere 1010. Did a walk around of it already, but that was when it was on its side, and I don't think the best qualities are all overly visible when it's on its side. To the best of my knowledge, it's the original backhoe that was originally outfitted onto that 1010. And it's a mixture of in quite good shape and also absolutely atrocious shape. Whoever was running it last didn't really believe in grease. I got all the joints that I can greased up. Some of these pins that go through are supposed to be greasable links like that. some of them aren't. I think that one. Pretty sure there's supposed to be a Zircon here. No, there's a bolt there instead. Miraculously, the swing cylinder still works. The big weird vane pump. They used this for a couple different variations of backhoe before finding out that it really didn't work that great as a backhoe swing cylinder. They changed it. They started using regular swing rams, but it's there and intact and functional. None of the cylinders leak. Just about all the hoses do. This line was snapped off on the outrigger, with the end of its fitting still in the outrigger, so I couldn't put it on. So I got that fixed. Then it sprung a leak in this line, or that line. Got that fixed. Sprung a minor leak in this line, still enough to, in the other line for this outrigger, still enough to use it, or put it on and off. Then it blew a leak in that line, which is just absolutely pouring out, so it's not going to get any use until it gets a full overhaul. Hopefully should be manageable soon. The whole thing is just caked in grease and dirt. But under that, it's really not in terrible shape. I think the original owner of the machine used it mainly as a backhoe, or used mainly the backhoe of it. So you can see some of these teeth are worn way down. The wear plate here is supposed to be mounted differently. It's supposed to be mounted along the side. That's all worn down. On this side, it's been torched off. But other than little things like that, it seems to be mostly there. Only thing that's missing are one tooth swing lock, which is just a plate that goes over this, and two little foot plates that go over these. And this light is supposed to be on the tractor. I think it mounts somewhere in the range of the fire extinguisher. But all the functions at least sort of work. And it is the big Type 51 that can slide side to side. I think it has 5 different positions you can put it in, which I don't know how well the camera will pick it up, but that is a lot of backhoe for that tractor. There was also a Type 50, which was much smaller than this, which I'm fairly confident that they designed the Type 50 backhoe to go with the 1010. The Type 51 to go with the 2010 a 2010 crawler, just because I had it on there to move it over from there to here, and it was pretty much just riding on the drive sprocket. It lifted the entire front end of the tractor off the ground. I can't imagine how you'd use that with a dozer tractor. That'd just be misery. Yeah, that's about all there is to the backhoe unit. And then I was picking this up, got an opportunity to talk to the previous owner, which I believe was the second owner of this unit, and he actually had some pretty interesting things. Had 2 old operator's manuals for it, for the crawler tractor and crawler loader. Some These are really cool old manuals. Let's see if I can find the interesting stuff. They knew exactly who they were writing the manuals for. Do not use crawler loader for a battering ram. I'm sure everybody followed that one. This is interesting. The starter, yes, it says diesel, but that doesn't quite matter. See, there's a big old access hole for the attaching stud. See, the original hole here was just a narrow slot about the width of my finger. Somebody's torched it out bigger. So look at this. This manual only covers serial 42001 and up. Of course, this tractor is visible under there, but it's 2474. That English, please. 2474.5. So, when you come back, that obviously isn't the right serial number range. When you go to the 21901 tractor and up, operator's manual for just the crawler. Let me see if I can find that. These old safety things are just incredible. I would have any one of those blown up into a poster size. Oh, where is it? Of course, it gets windy as soon as I try to do things with paper manuals. You can see starter attaching studs. Access hole, just a narrow little slot. I think it's kind of an interesting change they made. So you can see somebody couldn't get that out and had to torch it bigger, which would make sense that they would change that. Oh, interesting things. These pins, I call them center pins, that's the main boom pivots off. They're not centered. You can change the angle of where this whole arm sits to get it a little bit lower, to dig a little deeper, or a little bit higher to raise a little higher, or a little further forward, or a little further back. Don't remember how many positions it has. Here's the really cool parts. It's attachments and options. Hour meter. Of course, this has a different type of hour meter, but exhaust muffler cover. It's modern attachment, which is kind of just interesting little bit of when this machine was new. But look at all these attachments you could get for it. There's a straight blade that would replace the bucket. There's bulldozer attachment, which I'll get back to in a second. There's a ripper you could get for it. There's a grapple if you had the 4-in-1 bucket, which of course I don't. I don't have front hydraulics. But bulldozer attachment, I have a manual for, which is even better. It's an old Deere copy, which is just way cool. But that attachment is something that I would like to try and get at some point. Obviously, this tractor never had one. See, there's the mount plates where the swing would be. Those aren't there. One other interesting thing that the old owner was telling me is he gave me this, which is a paper pulley drive for a belt pulley, but not the belt pulley that would mount off the PTO back here on the back of the transmission or differential, whatever you want to call that. He was telling me that it mounted under this panel. So, let me say, open this up. Well, there's not really anywhere to put belt pulley under here. But there are these quick connects, which they have no reason to be here on this tractor, or at least not factory. So what they had to have done was had some kind of belt pulley drive, hydraulically driven belt pulley drive, that would run off this, but there's no mounting holes. Unless they mounted it to this, which I can't imagine. Just do that. I suppose the hoses reach that high, but why though? There's absolutely no reason for any of that. I'm hoping the old owner will turn up whatever hydraulically driven belt pulley drive it had, just so I can see the bracketry on it, because I want to know how it was done. Yeah, I think that's about it. Other than the fact that hopefully I'm going to be tearing this thing down for overhaul. Hopefully a fairly quick overhaul. They're basically all I'm hoping to do, basically reseal and refresh everything. There's something a little bit goofy, left-hand steering system. All the hydraulic lines need to be replaced, because that's just not happy. And the backhoe obviously is just going to keep blowing lines until I've replaced all of them. And there's a few hard lines you can see on that side. Both of the lines on top of the cylinder, dump cylinder, are hard lines. This side somebody's replaced one with a soft line. And I believe this one on the other side is replaced with soft line. Hoping to get those sorted out. Something weird in the hydraulic pump disconnect, and get that sorted out. Gotta get the seat fixed just because that's awful. But interestingly, this has a white seat. You know, John Deere seats were either black, or of this era were either black or yellow. But this one is white, and I see no reason why anyone would have refinished it at any point. And still got the metal backer plate here with what looks like factory attached material on it. Or professionally attached, not just done in the field somewhere. But I was trolling through Craigslist a couple weeks ago and saw a John Deere, I think it was a 1010, I don't remember, But in a similar area to me, and this has been in the area most of its life, but it also had a white seat that looked factory. So I don't know if this dealer recovered the seats white. I don't know, that doesn't exactly make sense. Why would they do that? But I need to get a pair of armrests for it, recover those white to match the seat. But the biggest task I'm going to do my overhaul it is, this is a 1010 equipped with the reverser, which they were a good idea, but in practice they didn't really work that well. They underbuilt them. They are just prone to failure. This one is starting to go out. The old owner said that he used it very heavily. So I'm going to, if I can find one, swap out the reverser, which is basically the bell housing to front of transmission, and on reverser models that's all packed with the reverser nonsense. But the reverser was an option. There are 1010s out there that do not have a reverser, so I'm hoping to find what John Deere called the center frame. I think Farmall called them torque tubes. I call it a bell housing just because that's what it is. But hoping to find one of those with a reverserless version, so I can do away with the reverser, have an actual physical clutch in there, have a good direct drive, and just do away with all that reverser nonsense. But hopefully, oh, and the electricals on this thing are a nightmare. That's something else I hope to get sorted out. I also acquired a drawbar for it. It somehow was missing that for whatever reason when I got it. But not only is the belly pan just absolutely smashed in to the point where you can fit it in, fit the drawbar between the belly pan and it, but also, I don't know if the camera will pick it up or not, under there on the center, on the crossbar that runs between the two track frames, there's two ears that are supposed to be sticking straight off the back that mounts the drawbar, except those have sagged down, and that's the center of that shaft, which I cannot turn at all with the entire weight of the tractor and loader frame sitting on it. So that's another thing that's going to happen when I overhaul it. There's also a couple dash surrounds missing off this. I'm going to try and get those. There's a few other bits and bobs that I'm going to try and replace. Can't think of any others right now. But yeah. Hopefully once I get it overhauled, it'll just be a better tractor overall. Well, thanks for watching.